Hello there, good evening to you all, and a huge welcome to the channel. The addiction tonight is a small guide on everything you need to know about the auction house in World of Warcraft, so like normal, go grab a hot coffee, get comfy and let's get started. This guide is solely aimed at showing you the World of Warcraft auction house, and certain things you can do to improve your overall experience when using it to make gold in-game. I will share some tips and tricks, techniques and methods, different things you can do to hopefully help you make gold and understand the runnings of how the auction house works. Something the game just does not tell you. As a casual player in WoW, to the most hardcore of farmers, it's always good practice to set up a bank character whose sole purpose in life is to deal with everything relating to the auction house and storage. The main reason why mostly every player in-game has a bank alt is so they are able to keep their main character's bags and bank free of mess and clutter. Sending everything we wish to sell on the auction house or store for later use, well, this is why we use them, having guild banks only helping more with storage. On screen now are the locations of all the auction houses in-game for both the Alliance and the Horde. But with a bank alt, it would be ideal to park this character right next to the auction house, mailbox and bank for easy access to all three. Well, there is one location in-game best suited for this job. Welcome to Booty Bay, located in the far south of the Eastern Kingdom, and in my own opinion, the best spot to park a bank alt for daily business. Ever since the region-wide auction house changes made back in 9.2.7, all neutral auction houses in-game was discontinued and made to work like any other in-game. There are other locations similar to this, but they have more travel times, when Booty Bay has everything you need next door to each other. Simply perfection for a player without the reins of the mighty Caravan Brutasaur. A lot of players seem to miss this, but choosing a class only to use as a bank alt can be a wise move to make. For example, using a warrior for heroic leap, a demon hunter for the burst, even a warlock for their portal or a mage with blink, may seem stupid at first. But every little bit helps moving between the auction house and mailbox. Let's now have a look at the auction house in-game. The picture on the left is Blizzard's standard in-game UI for the auction house. The picture on the right is the UI from an add-on called Auctionator, and the middle picture is from Trade Skill Master. You do not need to use any add-ons to be able to use the auction house. They are not needed, but they really do help in certain aspects, so it is a player's choice if you use them or not. First is quantity. Tip here is to never flood the market with just one item and in large amounts, as they can have a negative effect on overall sales, because some players will see your amount up on the auction house and will just undercut you so they can try and sell their item faster and before yours. Next comes the duration. This indicates how long you can place an item up on the auction house for when trying to sell. It also works as a countdown timer to how long a certain item has left before being removed and sent back to its owner. This can be rather handy for players trying to snipe themselves a good deal. The deposit fee, or listing fee, is the amount of money needed to place an item up for auction. It depends on the item's vendor sell price and the amount of time you wish to sell for. The deposit is paid immediately when you list the item. All deposits are lost if you do not sell the item or it has been cancelled, or just not sold. When you successfully sell an item on the auction house, the house will take 5% of the winning bid as its cut. The amount of money you will receive by mail will be the winning bid, minus the cut, plus the return of your deposit, which you will receive in 1 hour from the time the item was sold. Now for a quick warning. If you use add-ons like Trade Skill Master or Auctionator, please be extra vigilant when allowing these add-ons to place items on the markets for you as intended. There is a dirty tactic some players will use to catch players out who are not paying attention when placing items. Some players will list their item at 1 silver, knowing full well the item true value and worth. As these add-ons use our Undercut feature with a default setting, when you place our item on the auction house it will use these settings to undercut anyone else. This means that players are able to buy items at next to no gold, then simply replace back on the auction house for its true value, and making a profit and leaving you out of pocket. So please be extra careful when placing items, you have been warned. This next part may just seem like a wall of text, but are actually helpful methods and things to watch out for. I will leave these pictures on screen for a moment. Please pause the video if needed, as I will not be repeating these, as that will just make this video too long and boring. When trying to make gold on the auction house, it's always a good idea to pick a time on your servers that is at its most busiest. For me on my server, the best time to sell items are at prime times, so weekly reset each Wednesday, early in afternoon to late evening, as most guilds tend to raid, and players logging in to claim their vaults. Friday nights, most of Saturday and Sunday, but only up to around midnight for my server, the sales seem to die off slowly. You will still get them, just not as fast and the same rate as earlier times, but you still will get sales. Knowing when to place items on the auction house is something you will learn over time, as only you know your own server, but with time and a little experience, it becomes much easier to see when to do so and when not to sell. This next part is completely up to you and how you decide to handle this, but when placing items on the auction house, you should keep track of them by running an undercut scan. This will scan your auctions and remove any that have been undercut, sending all items which have to your mailbox instantly ready to be replaced. How often you do undercut scans is your call. I just tend to only check every time I come back into a city with an auction house after a farming session. Run a scan and then repost everything as well as what I just farmed. I am aware of players having a separate account just for undercut scans and sniping, so run this how you see fit. On screen now are just the results from an 8 to 10 hour farmed spread across the past weekend. I am only showing you these results to point out that knowing what reagents to farm and when to sell them at the right time will help massively to improve your overall profits. Using the World of Warcraft's auction house correctly will just impact this more, but with that being said, this guide is now complete. Thank you so much again for watching. Please feel free to hit that like and subscribe buttons if you enjoyed the video, and maybe come and join us on Discord. But for now I must say goodbye. I am raiding shortly, so with that being said, thank you again, and like normal people, stay warm, stay safe.